Did you notice the sound of Suguru Geto unraveling in Jujutsu Kaisen? It starts slow, like the early trickle of rain. Then it rushes in. The sound follows him through the entire episode, and it does more than simply build the atmosphere. It's a motif. Episode 29, Premature Death, uses sound to plot the trajectory of Geto's fall. The shower, the rain, even the fire. More than sound effects, meaning echoes off of this audible practice. And once you sit and notice these sounds, it's hard to get them out of your ear and remove what the series is really telling you. This is an auditory motif. Not music, but a reoccurring sound that does just as much, if not more work, as pictures and dialogue. In this case, we have the hiss of water. The flowing sound mirrors Geto's cascading feelings of doubt and despair, which ultimately lead to his decision. This is the story of how Geto fell. Not through exposition, not through battle, but through thoughtful sound design choices. Jujutsu Kaisen is known for its animation, fight choreography, and...
You crying?
But it's also incredibly thoughtful with its sound design. Before Geto becomes the antagonist that we meet in JJK 0, he was a student at Jujutsu High, and one of the strongest of his peers, and of course, Gojo's closest friend. Season 2's Premature Death takes us back to the moment where everything changed. With Jujutsu Kaisen Hidden Inventory Premature Death finally hitting theaters this month, fans have a chance to revisit this arc on the big screen. And in a theatrical setting, sound operates on a different level. It doesn't just accompany the story, it surrounds you. Details that might get lost when watching on a phone, tablet, or even a television without enhanced audio become impossible to ignore.
It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your telephone. Get real.
Premature Death doesn't just tell us how Geto fell apart. It elevates the manga by using sound to show us the exact moments where something in him shifts, where doubt sets in, where something breaks. But before we dive into this any further, if you enjoy talking about anime through a cinematic lens and breaking down clever uses of sound design, be sure to like the video, tap the bell, and subscribe. That way, you don't miss out on any upcoming videos from me, of course. Now, let's take a closer listen to what this episode is really telling us. When we enter a premature death, Suguru Geto is already unraveling. Riko's death lingers heavily. His mission failed, his purpose unclear. Gojo has moved on, growing stronger, carrying himself like nothing happened. Shoko hasn't been sent on any dangerous missions, which means Geto has been sent on missions alone, with his thoughts, his doubts, and the curses he's forced to consume. His work has become mechanical. Exercise, absorb, repeat, again and again, ceaseless, like the gushing of a burst pipe. There's no meaning in it anymore, just the taste of rot and the weight of a role he no longer believes in. There, Geto stands beneath the pulsating showerhead. The water pours down, but he doesn't respond. He's not cleansing himself. He's motionless as the water beats down on him. His inner monologue plays over the spraying sound until it's interrupted. We cut to a still shot of the non-sorcerers clapping from the previous episode. The applause, like the roar of water, was relentless. Yet, when it's cut to this still, silence ensues. That sound break is intentional, inviting viewers into a brief moment for comparing the water to the would-be applause. After his monologue finishes, the drip, the rush, the constant stream of water commands the eardrums. He's burnt out, disconnected. The only thing moving in the frame is the water down his face, as the sound of the applause merges in, overtaking the space like a patter of rainfall, morphing into a downpour. We have another cut to silence, where Geto says,
Damn monkeys.
It's important to add that the stream of water doesn't purify him. It doesn't wash away the filth of the curses he's consumed. It doesn't ease the weight of Riko's death or the guilt curdling in his gut. It can't clean the thoughts eating away at him. The water isn't healing. It's drowning. The choice to hold on that sound and pair it with the uncanny similar sound of clapping is deliberate. And this is the first instance of the auditory motif. Filmmakers often employ auditory motifs in their work. They're reoccurring, non-musical sound that reappear across key scenes to carry emotional, symbolic, or narrative significance. Unlike a leitmotif, which uses music to underscore a character or an idea, an auditory motif uses environmental sounds, like ticking, buzzing, breathing, or, in this case, water, to build psychological continuity. Think of the ticking in Dunkirk, or the top spinning in Inception, or think of the whirling electricity in the work of David Lynch. It's just as useful as pictures and dialogue. In Premature Death, water is that anchor. Water in this episode becomes tied to Geto's internal state, not of cleansing, but of erosion, of overwhelm, and of drowning. They're like the chords and notes of his doubt, his weariness, his collapse. The water is associated with this internal decay. That's the function of this motif. From this point forward, when water returns, when it rains, we're meant to remember this moment, this doubt, this exhaustion. The sound ties his disillusionment into the very texture of the episode. The sound haunts it. We next find Geto sitting next to Yuki Tsukumo. The light shifts with sun pouring in through the windows, overexposing the frame just as it was in the shower scene. It's brighter than the previous scenes, but it doesn't feel warm. It feels sterile, like a waiting room. This conversation is philosophical, big picture. Unlike the policies of Jujutsu High School that merely treat the symptoms, Yuki tells Geto that she wants to treat the cause. She speaks plainly.
I want to create a world where they don't get born in the first place.
That line cuts through, and so does the following sound. The ambient noise disappears. The birds and the wind fall silent. In their place, we hear a soft jingle. Unlike the auditory motif, this one is musical, and it's familiar. It's the same melody that closes out episodes in Season 2, a musical cue typically reserved for the preview. So in other words, it's a sound that asks us to think about what comes next. But here, Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't place it at the end. It folds it into the scene. The creators aren't asking us to wonder what Geto will become because we already know. Instead, it's guiding us to recognize that this is the moment where his transformation reaches the point of no return. The music doesn't push the story forward. It reframes what we've already seen. It casts Geto's silence, his exhaustion, his emerging ideology in a new light. We aren't learning something new. We're finally seeing the shape of what was always there. The melody is soft, and in this context, contemplative. Not triumphant, not ominous, just open. It creates space for a new idea to enter, and Geto listens. If all of humanity were sorcerers, curses wouldn't be born. For a moment, that idea is enough to hold him. But then he speaks, and the music stops. Solve the problem by killing all non-sorcerers?
Geto, that is a possibility.
And just like that, the music cuts. The rain begins. It isn't a storm, just steady rainfall. But it's not random. It sounds just like the water from the shower, and the applause from earlier. And that's intentional. Even here, in the quiet room with Yuki, Geto is back in the same headspace. The rain brings us back to the earlier moment. But now, the stakes are different.
Geto, do you hate non-sorcerers?
He doesn't answer right away. He can't. Part of him resents them. Not for what they've done, but for what they represent. Their primal-like ignorance. Their cruelty. the way they can admire and destroy in the same breath. But another part of him still wants to believe that there's something worth protecting, that he can walk the path of the righteous sorcerer. Yuki doesn't push back.
You're not ready to decide that yet.
Their conversation ends, the sky's clear, and yet we still know what's coming next. Further along, on a mission of his own, Geto exercises a curse in a remote village. But instead of relief, he's met with ridicule. The villagers are convinced that the two young girls, sorcerers like him, are the cause. They have been beaten and locked in a cage. Geto tries to explain to them that the curse is gone, but it achieves nothing. This is the moment he makes his decision. The next time we see the village, it's burning, and the incessant crackling sound of that fire. It's not too far off from the water we've been hearing throughout the episode. It is a low, continuous roar. It fills the space in the same way, but the tone is different. It's sharper, hotter. The quiet doubt we saw in the shower becomes something louder, something final. Geto takes the lives of 112 people. He is declared a cursed user, expelled, sentenced to death. He even murders his own parents. After Gojo and Geto break up in front of the KFC, Geto continues to move forward. He takes control of the remnants of the Time Vessel Association, takes the life of Shigeru Sonda, and wipes the blood from his face. Then we hear it again. Applause. The same sound we heard when Riko died. The same sound that echoed behind Geto in the shower. It returns here, but this time, he accepts it.
Monkeys.
Premature Death isn't about just one loss. It's about the ripple effects of a tragedy that arrived too soon. Riko's death is the obvious one. And then there's the unraveling of Geto's beliefs, the end of his friendship with Gojo and Shoko, and the collapse of everything they stood for. The version of Geto who wanted to protect people doesn't die in some battle. Rather, he fades away, moment by moment, through silence, exhaustion, and doubt, all of it underscored by sound. The sound design in the episode expresses that collapse. From the trickle of water in the shower, to the rain falling during his pivotal conversation with Yuki, to the low roar of fire when he finally decides who he wants to become. All of it echoes the applause from the non-sorcerers when Riko died. Each sound marks a tangent in his downward spiral. Premature Death is the title of the episode because it's the diagnosis. Riko's death was cut short, Geto's faith didn't survive, and the bond between Gojo and Geto, one that could have changed everything, died before either of them was ready to let it go. Shh. If you're really listening, you'll hear Suguru Geto's unraveling. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and now I want to hear from you. So tell me, do you think that Geto's fall was inevitable, or do you think that there's something that could have changed? Let me know in the comments. And if you like the video and want to be a part of future anime discussions through a cinematic lens, be sure to hit that like button, tap the bell, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all next time. Bye!